I think with 11-17 left, Pat makes it a 4-point game with the and one, and then it gets away from you guys pretty quickly. Just what do you feel like happened in those next 5 or so minutes that you're down 20, 5 minutes later?
Got hot. Couldn't get anything going really offensively. They took advantage of that, pushed it. Siakam made some tough plays. Turner hit some shots. But I think for the most part, their pace after our missed shots just, killed us tonight.
Dame, just for you, obviously you got going in the first half, and then in the second half they turned up that pressure again. Doc had talked about the shot discipline maybe not being great in the second half. What did you kind of see in that regard?
I think they just, like you said, they picked up the pressure. They started to face guard and deny a little bit harder. And I just think we weren't as organized as we needed to be, when they defended that way. And, when our offense is struggling with our spacing, our pace sometimes. You got to be focused. You got to be able to execute through that, even when you're tired, even when the team is turning up the pressure and the physicality. And we struggled with that a little bit tonight. And I think because of it, our shot quality was low. And, against a team like this who, they want to get the ball out and run, get up and get, quick shots up. They play at an extremely high pace. And I just thought, the areas that we struggled in offensively really hurt our defense and allowed them to just get out and play the way that they're comfortable and the way that they want to play. And I think it showed when they kind of just jumped out and took that lead.
Maybe off that, Dame, and this could be for either of you. Doc had said, in the second half of game one, he's like, focus was lost, but he sort of meant like we can't get caught up in, the series becoming personal. Like someone says something in game one, you ignore it. Game two, it's irritating. Game three, you think they insulted a family member to a degree. And I don't know, like tonight it seemed like the Pacers wanted to push you guys, like truly, maybe not dirty, but a shoulder here or standing over someone who's down there type of thing. Did it feel like that they just kind of wanted, whether to get themselves up or to maybe be more physical? Did it feel like they tried to assert themselves in that way at all?
I think that's natural in the playoffs. Somebody comes in, you lose a game, you got a couple days to sit with it. You probably have practice and film. The coaches get on your ass about it, and it's an emphasis, to make these adjustments and to come out and make these changes. This is what you got to do to try to win the game. So I think it was a little bit of that. They tried to come a little harder, a little more physical. Game one went one way, and they wanted to come out and try to change that, and try to make a statement or take a stand. And I think that's natural. I've seen that every year that I've been in the playoffs from game to game. Every game is different. The losing team is going to come back a different team the following night. So I thought it was more of that, but I think you got to be the more mature team. I think the more emotional team, whoever kind of gets caught up in that is the team that is usually going to come out on the wrong end of the stick. So I think we got enough mature guys, old enough guys on our team to where we understand the balance of not backing down to it, but also not, letting ourselves get carried away with it.
Khris, I know you tweaked your ankle a little bit in the first quarter. Just how are you feeling right now?
Be all right. Be fine.
And I know you've known Aaron Nesmith since he was a kid, basically. Just what's it like for you competing against him in such a high-stakes environment like this?
It's fun. All the summers that we spent together, all the conversations that we've had about, just playoff basketball and whatnot. It's fun to compete on the highest stage with somebody, since you were a kid in high school, middle school, whatever it is. So, I'm proud to see him on the stage, competing, playing well, unfortunately, against us right now. But, this is what it's about, being a mirror to our times, going against, somebody you know for half of your life. So proud of him, want him to play well, just not against us.
I guess for either of you, I think they shoot 10 of 20 from the three-point line in the first half. How do you feel like that kind of changed the game?
I don't think it changed the game too much. I thought they had a lot of great looks in the first game. You could just tell the nerves. They had a lot of bad misses tonight. They were able to settle down a little bit. I don't think that necessarily changed the game for us. our defense was pretty solid for the most part. I feel like it was just our offense in the second half that kind of got us into a hole. But we can't overreact to, them hitting not too many shots, hitting a couple threes and whatnot. We got to stay disciplined. And, the NBA players, we knew Siakam could shoot and make threes. Same thing with Turner, same thing with Nembhard, Halliburton, all of them. So just got to stay disciplined, not really overreact unless, those guys go, 20 for 20. Then, yeah.
Siakam has hurt you guys both nights. Speaking of maybe not having the composure, first game he had it, and again he had it. What can you guys do to make it more difficult on him?
Yeah, we just got to figure out a way, He's a proven champion, He's been at this stage before. He knows how to play. He's taking advantage of different mismatches, going to the post, knowing when to drive certain guys. He's a great player. That's why they signed him, for this type of basketball at this time. So we just got to do a better job of trying to figure out ways to contain him, limit his touches, maybe limit his get into his scoring areas.
Khris, I know you said the ankle's okay. Coming out early in the first, did that mess with the rhythm, the flow at all? I know the rotations were a little bit changed too.
No, I didn't. I'm good. Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys, knowing what Indy can and has thrown your way in Indiana, knowing what their crowd brings and everything like that, what do you guys feel like needs to be, I guess, how do you set that tone, for one, and then for two, be in control on the road there?
I think you got to understand every game is going to be a tough game. Anytime you go on another team's home floor, you got to know that they're going to be more comfortable. They're going to be more confident. They're a team that already plays fast. They're going to play a little bit faster at home. And I think that's when we got to, we got to lean on our experience in the games on their home floor. We've all been in these situations, regular season and playoffs, and it's going to be ups and downs in every game on the road. But I think that's the biggest thing is we got to, stay connected, stay together, and play the game like we've been there before. We can't be moved by runs. We can't be moved by them having some success. We just got to be steady. We got to do a lot of things better. Our execution got to be better. We got to be more connected defensively, continue to make them work and try to have good offensive possession so they're not getting it out and just running because we're not having good offensive possessions. And it's going to be more important on their floor, even more so than it was on our floor. So I think that has to be our focus and our mentality.
Khris, to follow on that, you guys have been at home for a week, and now you played these games here for a week. How does that veteran experience manifest itself in a road situation in a tied series?
Just that, we've been in these situations before. So we know it's going to be a hostile environment. They're going to pump up their team. And we got to come in there with a common, experienced team, knowing what we have to do. We have to execute. We can't get the crowd rile us at times. It's going to be a tough game, but we got to find a way to still win at home at their place. They still won here from us, and we got to figure out how to still win, and if not two, at their place. It's not going to be easy, but that's what the playoffs is. It's hard. Everything's going to be hard. Each game is going to be harder. Each game is going to be a different game, and we just have to figure out how to adjust and do what we do.
For either of you guys, what do you think are the most important things to learn from these first two games of the series?
I think for us is understanding what goes into our success against them. I think both games we had a lot of success in the first two quarters mainly, and then in the second half, we kind of get away from the things that we had a lot of success doing. And a lot of times when you do things well and the game is going your way, and you're having fun and you're making shots and you're having momentum, it feels easy. And we go into halftime in the second half. It's hard to do it again, and I think we just get away from those things. So for us, we just got to know what goes into the success that we've had, and we got to try to sustain it for longer periods of time.